Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. As you know me, my name is Er Hashirvani and I'm a BIM engineer, and this is going to be a masterclass on BIM clash coordination and clash detection and field management. This is going to be done on the Navisworks software, and in this session we're going to be exploring everything about coordination and field management, from understanding the Navisworks interface to learning about the basics of clash detection to creating selection sets and working sets and search sets and creating clash viewpoints and clash reports. We'll also be looking into powerful add-ins such as BIM track, 4D timeline simulation, Navisworks quantification, and we'll wrap up with the introduction to BIM 360 cloud-based collaboration. So sit back, relax, and get ready for this masterclass on Navisworks, and fire up your laptops and follow along with me. So when we open our Navisworks software, this is going to be our workspace, and this is going to be what the layout of our Navisworks software looks like. So sometimes this portion of this layout is called the ribbon, and sometimes the ribbon isn't expanded. What you can do is double click on the home button and this ribbon gets extended. We have our different options here: viewpoints, reviews, animations, views, output, etc, etc. But we cannot see anything else here. So what we can do first of all is go to view option, and then on Windows we can simply select on selection tree. Here it comes, and we can simply minimize it like this. So here it gets minimized right here. So other thing that we want is our properties, and we'll do the same, and our viewpoints, saved viewpoints, and we'll do the same with this. Now this is our ribbon, and this is our navigating window. Here we have our cube. We can select different orientations of our model, but right now we don't need to go into that. First of all, let us see how we can open our files in our Navisworks. So as you guys may know that there are three types of files that we deal with in our Navisworks. We have our cache files. The cache files are exported from Revit. Cache files are nothing but the three-dimensional model of our Revit project, which can be imported directly onto this Navisworks. Then we have our NWF, that are the federated models, and then we have our NWD files, that are the document files. The document files are going to be submitted to our client, so he doesn't have to deal with all the different types of files, and we can simply export one single file to him so he can take a review of all the work that we have done. So how do we open this file? For example, we go to home, and we go to this Navisworks icon here, and we click on open, and wherever we have selected our where we have saved our NWC files, we're going to be navigating to that. For example, I have I have saved it in materials, and then what we're going to be doing is we're going to be selecting NWC option here. So first of all, we're going to be importing our architecture model. So this is my architectural model which has been exported to NWC format. There you can see here is the NWC format, and we'll click on open. We'll select this and we'll click on open. So this is my NWC model of my project. You can simply navigate it by pushing down the shift key, and then also pushing down the scroll button. So simultaneously pushing down on both the buttons, you can simply orbit it. We're going to be learning about all the navigating tools, but first of all, let's use this particular box. So we can simply click on this corner, and it gets selected in this orientation. But what we do if we want to superimpose different files on it, we cannot simply go and open it again, because the new file is going to be opened, and this particular file, this architectural model, is going to be closed. So what we use here is we use the append option here. So we'll click on this append option, and then For example, I want to import my grids as well. I'll simply click on grids, and this is also in NWC format. If it is not in NWC, you will not be able to view it in here. So we'll click on open, and my grids are also visible. You can see all of this in selection tree here. Here is my architecture, and here's my grids. So now I want to append some more files. For example, I want level 1 electrical. You'll hold on control and you can select different. This is my fire protection, this is my plumbing, and this is my structural. These are all in NWCs. If I want, for example, let us first of all open these, and these are appended. You will not be able to see this right now, but I want to also append my mechanical model, but that is in NWD. So I'll click here, I'll scroll up, and this is my NWD. Here I can see my mechanical, and I'll select open, and this gets appended. But why we are not able to see this, we're going to be learning about that. But you can see it directly here. All the NWC files and NWD files are visible here. Now let's start learning about how to navigate the software. So we have some options here. So for example, this is the pan. We can select on pan, and we can move this model in that particular orientation. The orientation doesn't change, but you can simply move this model. You can also do this by simply holding down on the scroll button. You can use this is the shortcut for pan. We also have our orbit. This is our orbit. We can simply select this option and just hold on the left LMB, left mouse button, and simply orbit it or change the orientation, but the translation doesn't change, only the orientation of this model changes, or this project changes. So we can also have the shortcut for this. We have to hold down our shift and hold down our scroll button, and we can simply do the orbit. This is the shortcut for orbit. We have some other options that we're going to be seeing right now. For example, we have a fly, we have a walk, but before that, what we're going to be doing, for example, I want to do my clash coordination and clash detection of our mechanical, electrical, plumbing models in our first level. So what we're going to be doing here, we're going to be selecting this viewpoint, and then we're going to be selecting this option here, enable sectioning, and then we have our this window. What this is that this option separates our projects into different sort of planes. These are planes, and if the light bulb is glowing, that means that place is currently on. So this is our plane, and we can change the orientation of that particular plane from top, from bottom, from front, and from back. For example, this is the top orientation. Now I can select bottom orientation, and I can simply move this plane in whatever direction I want. For example, I'll hold on the left mouse button, and I can move this up and down. Since this is in the downward or bottom orientation, I can also select this in top orientation and then drag it upwards. So since we're going to be learning about MEP coordination in our first level, so we're going to be zooming in, and then we're going to be dragging this down so that our first floor MEP setups are visible. Here you can see different MEP setups here. For example, this is our fire protection, these are our mechanical, and we have also our plumbing equipments here. We can also select on this move button, we can click on it, and this plane gets disappeared. So the next option we're going to be learning about, we can also use different multiple planes. For example, if I select on this plane and turn it on now, and then the orientation I select bottom, I'll select the second plane here, and then the orientation I select bottom, and now I can simply open this model from top as well as from bottom. So we're not going to be doing this right now. So what I want to you guys, I'll simply turn this off first of all. Now let's learn about some other navigation tools that I want to show you guys. We have our fly and walk. So first of all, we're going to be zooming in, and we're going to be orbiting ourselves into this particular model. Can you see? Right. What we're going to be doing before that is we're going to be selecting the first tool, and then we're going to be dragging it a little bit upwards, so all of our MEP equipments are visible, right? So if this you can see the move cursor is still here. If we want to get out of this, we can simply go back to home and simply select this pointer option here. So now I want to navigate myself in and walk through this project. So what I can do here, I can zoom in, and then I can select the walk option, and then this sort of footsteps appear. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be clicking on our left mouse button, and we're going to be dragging our mouse forward, so it looks like we're going to be walking through this model. I can also turn and go back right here, but we're not able to go up and down. For going up and down, we can simply scroll the mouse wheel and then walk again. But another interesting tool that we have for navigating through this software is this fly button. What fly is going to be fly is going to be making us able to do is we also going to be able to move up and down by simply dragging the mouse button and pushing the mouse forward. So we can go inside these MEP equipments. For example, these are our fire pipes, we have our plumbing pipes, etc., etc., and we're going to be navigating with this particular. We can also go inside the rooms. For example, I want to go inside this particular room, but with walk, with fly, what happens is that orientation gets changed. So we go back, we make the orientation right by using the orbit button. Don't use too much because you may get lost into this project, and we can simply go and use the walk option now. So if I want to go inside this room, I can go inside this particular room, and then I want to go back to orbit. I can simply orbit it if I want. So now let's say that you get lost by navigating this. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be selecting this corner right here, and this orientation is that we saved is going to be appearing again. So let me simply turn off this this plane by simply going to selection tools and then clicking on this move button. So this is our first floor. Now there are some viewpoints that are already saved by appending this. For example, let me first of all go to select button, and then I'll be deleting all of them. We'll hold down the control button and select all of them and just delete all of them. We're going to be saving this particular view from this corner here, and we're going to be zooming in a little bit. But what I want is I want this view. Let us say I want this, or that corner I want. I'll go and pan out, and I want this this orientation, and sorry, I want this orientation to be my so where was I? This orientation I want to be my home screen. So what I can do is I go to this save viewpoints, I right click, and then I click on save viewpoint, and I name it level 01, and then I click HOM, home. So this orientation gets saved. So for example, if we are in any particular orientation, I click on this, and that particular orientation that we saved, and that particular zoom or the pan that we saved comes back to our screen. Now let's first of all learn how to save these particular file so it doesn't get lost. So we can simply go and simply click on save as, and then we can simply save it whatever name that we want. For example, I'll select practice, I'll go to desktop, I'll save it on desktop, I'll select here PRATICENWD, sorry, whatever format that we want. For example, I want to save it at NWF format. I can NWF, and I'll save it right here. So this file gets saved. So some of you guys wanted to know how do we export our Revit mechanical, electrical, plumbing, or fire protection model. How do we export them in NWC formats and NWD formats? So I have a separate video coming up on that, and you guys can refer to that video and export your particular files to NWC format. So basically what we do is we use a tool from Autodesk to complete that particular export. Now the first part of a lecture is going to be of this masterclass is going to be the basics of clash detection. So as you can see here, we have our different mechanical, electrical, plumbing models. If you want to select any particular element, you can simply click on this, but what happens is all of the elements get selected. For that, what you can do is simply click on the right click it and go to this particular option. So this option was selected, and now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be setting it to this set selection resolution to first object. What we can do is we can simply select on whatever object that we want. For example, this is our fire protection pipe, and we want to select this, and we can select this. So there are going to be different clashes, a number of clashes actually between different models. So how do we detect these clashes, and how do we change the orientation of a particular mechanical, electrical, plumbing pipe so that the clash gets resolved, and how do we coordinate between different disciplines? So for that particular process, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating clash batches. So we can simply go to our home here, and then there is an option called clash detector. We'll click on this option, and this may be a little overwhelming, but it is clearly not. It is not that overwhelming. We can simply pin it if we want, and then we're going to be expanding it a little bit. We're going to be hiding the viewpoints for now, and now this is going to be the interface of clash detective tool. So this is a little bit overwhelming at first, but when we're going to be explaining, I'm going to be explaining the basics of this. This is going to be very easy, guys. So for adding a test, we simply click on add test, and then we name our test. For example, first test that we're going to be running is between mechanical mechanical versus, for example, we want our mechanical versus plumbing, so PL. This is, we're going to be naming this, and then what we're going to be selecting here is the discipline. For example, my mechanical file is this. I'll simply click on it, and my plumbing file here is my plumbing. I'll click on it, and then these are some different parameters here. We're not going to be messing with this. We're simply selecting the first option here. This is important, guys, the tolerance. If we want our clash to be detected at a particular distance, we can simply enter this distance, and then the clash is going to be detected. We're going to be learning more about this, but simply let's keep it on 0, and then simply let's run the test. So a number of clashes are detected here. So exactly 48 clashes between mechanical and plumbing systems. So how do we view this clash? Simply what we're going to be doing first is we're going to be selecting all of these clashes, and then creating a separate group. How we can do this is we can select on first clash, and then scroll down to the last clash. We can hold down on the shift key and then select the 48th clash, so all of them get selected, and then there is this option called new group. We'll simply click on new group, and then rename this group to all clashes. So why we're going to be doing this, I'm going to be explaining a little bit, but now you can see all of these clashes are going to be under this newly formed group. So we can see the individual clash. If we want to see the individual clash, what we're going to be doing is we'll click on the first clash, we'll click on focus on clash, and then we'll click on hide items. So this is the first clash between our mechanical and plumbing equipment. We can also orbit this, so we can see this particularly, and then we can zoom it, and then we can hide this. We can click on this hide option. If we want, we can simply go and zoom in and also orbit. So you're not going to be particularly seeing this because this is, so we use the hide option for that. So all the other items are going to be hidden, and this particular clash is going to be shown here. What we can also do is we can dim others, so all the other other pipes that are not clashing in this particular clash are going to be hidden, and the clash is visible here. We can do with this with all the clashes. For example, third clash, here we can see our third clash, and we can simply click on hide others, and then this is our clash. I will click again on hide others, and this is going to be shown with other equipments as well. This is our clash here. dim others. Get comfortable with these options, guys. Hide others, all the other gets hidden. Dim others, all the others get hidden. And if we navigate out of this, we can simply go to focus on clash, and this is going to be appear on the center. Other clashes we're going to be viewing. For example, we have a 7th clash. We dim others, focus on clash, hide others, and this is our clash. Can you see? Yeah. So these are our clashes with particularly mechanical versus plumbing. We can do other tests between electrical versus plumbing, between architecture versus plumbing, between different structure, between fire protection. Every system that we have, we can run a test with each other. Now there are some other options here. For example, we have our clash report. We're going to be if we want, we can take this clash report by simply using the parameters that what we want summary, we want clash point, we want date, format, etc etc. We want individual clashes, everything. I want everything here, and then we can simply export them to whatever format that we want here. So I can simply click on write report, and I can save this here. Little bit of time, and then so here it is saved, and you can see all the clashes, what type of clashes they are, the building levels, the descriptions, the dates, the clash points, etc etc, everything that we want. So this is going to be our clash report. But guys, the question arises that what we're going to be doing with all this. We found all the clashes, okay, but how are we going to be coordinating between different clashes? So for that, what we're going to be doing, we'll close this, and we'll go here, we'll click on this option here, and we'll click on our level 1 home, so we get back to our default view. So now what we do is we enter into our coordination, and we use the save viewpoints option for coordination purpose. So we go to saved viewpoints, and we pin this, and then we go to a new folder, and we create a new folder, and we call it, for example, my my project is called block 75A, okay, and then we go here and like new folder, level 01, and then we click new folder, and then whatever discipline that we have run the clashes between, we have our mechanical versus plumbing, okay, and then what we're going to be doing is, for example, our first clash, we'll click on first clash, and then simply let me okay, this works. Then we're going to be selecting this hide option. We're going to be navigating in such a way so that this particular clash is visible. So here you can see between the clash between the two. Let me do this in such an orientation so that it will be visible. If I want to hide some element, I can simply go select it and control H, so all of them are hidden now. I can simply zoom in and then select the orientation that I want. Then what I'm going to be doing is I'll simply go here and then save a particular viewpoint. This is going to be saved. I'll select clash 001 M versus B, M versus B, and then whatever discipline is going to be resolving that clash. For example, here we're simply going to move this this hanger. So what we can do here is, okay, CLASH clash 01 mechanical versus plumbing, and whatever is going to be moving this discipline, whatever discipline is going to be moving, we're going to be writing that. So for example, here the hanger is going to be moving, so we'll select PL. So PL means that plumbing discipline is going to be involved in this. Then what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be selecting this review option here. We're going to be selecting this ellipse here, and then we're going to be circling this out, and then we're going to be selecting and writing hanger clashes with plumbing pipes, and then once again select hanger to move, right, go here, and then we're going to be selecting this, and we're going to be here updating this. So this viewpoint has been saved. Now for example, we have a second viewpoint here, the hanger clashes with the flex duct. What we can do here is we'll simply save this viewpoint again. We can simply simply rename it control C, and then here rename it control V, and then we'll select the clash to 2, and then what we're going to be doing is we're going to be marking this up, and then flex duct clashes with hanger. Okay, and then we're going to be saving this by updating this. We're simply deleting this, right? So here our two clash viewpoints are saved, and simply what we can do is we can simply run tests between different disciplines, for example other disciplines, and then create this particular viewpoints that we want. So I'm going to be showing you guys how many that we want. So here what I did is I simply ran the tests between different disciplines. For example, you can see lots of disciplines. I ran electrical versus plumbing, electrical versus fire protection, plumbing versus fire protection, architecture versus electrical, structure versus electrical, structure versus fire protection, structure versus plumbing, mechanical versus fire protection, mechanical versus plumbing, architecture versus mechanical, and then the other tests that we're going to be learning in the future. And then what I did is we created separate folders for this level 1, and then for each electrical versus plumbing I created a particular viewpoint. For example, this one, second, third, fourth, fifth, and for mechanical I created different viewpoints and I marked it up as well, and for mechanical versus plumbing as well, same for mechanical versus fire protection, same for electrical versus fire protection. This is going to be taking a little bit of time, but this is going to be essential that you learn this. And then structure versus electrical, and then architecture versus mechanical as well. So what I did is I created all of these viewpoints, and we're going to be sharing these viewpoints with our team that we have for our Revit, so that they can move every particular element so that the clash gets resolved. So guys, another important settings that we have to keep in our mind is we're going to be creating a different folder for our default home viewpoints. For example, earlier we created this viewpoint, so we're going to be creating another viewpoint from this. We're going to be saving this particular viewpoint and then renaming it LEVEL01 MEPF. So then we're going to be updating this. What we're going to be doing here is we're going to be where is our selection tree? we're going to go to view, we're going to be windows, and then selection tree. Our selection tree is back, and then what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be selecting this architecture and structure model, architecture and our structural model, and we're going to be hiding it, Control H or hide, and all of them architecture and structure elements are hidden. Now what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be going to edit here, and then we're going to be selecting this option here, hide / required, and we're going to be doing similar thing here in our home, but in our home viewpoint none of the architecture or the structure is hidden. So we're going to be going here and then selecting this option. I've already done it, so you will select this option, and then our two default viewpoints are created, one for home and one for mechanical, electrical, plumbing. So what this does is it simplifies our work, so that we don't have to do hide again and again if we want to see our mechanical, electrical, plumbing and fire protection equipments. Now another important topic that we have to learn is our selection sets. So what are selection sets? Selection sets are sets so that if we want to group a particular category of systems, for example our flexible ducts, here we can see our flexible ducts. There are different types of flexible ducts, and if we want to select a particular category of flexible ducts under one heading, we're going to be creating a set. So for that what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be going to sets, and then we're going to be going to many sets, and we have already created these sets. I'm going to be deleting them, and so let us say that I want to create a set of these particular flexible pipes. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be selecting a particular type, and then you can see various types of flexible ducts appear here. You can click on any one of them, and the corresponding ducts get selected. Now what we're going to be doing, and we're going to be grouping them under EA category and creating a set. For example, we're going to be holding our control button, and all of the flexible ducts with EA in their name, we're going to be selecting all of them, and then we're going to be clicking on this button here, and then we're going to be renaming it as let's say EA FLX DT. And then what we're going to be doing is we're going to be new folder, and we're going to be creating a category MECH mechanical, and then we're going to be dragging this into this mechanical folder here, and then we're going to be creating a different set with RA flex ducts quickly, yeah, and then this one, and then RA FLX DD, right. Then SA to here, sets, and then SA FLX DD, right. So we're going to be dragging them here in the mechanical, yeah, right here. So a selection set has been created for them. So what is this used for? One use case we're going to be studying right now is that we can create different filters. For example, if any of you guys are familiar with filters in our Revit, so we can create different colors filter for every type of mechanical duct. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going to this option here, appearance profiler, and then in this appearance profiler, first of all what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be selecting this, and then we're going to go to properties, and then for every property, so sorry guys, what we can do is we can simply go to appearance profiler here, and then here we can see. So what I did, I was trying to make the sets by property, but we're going to be doing it by sets. We're going to be clicking on this, and then we're going to be selecting a color here, for example green, okay, and then we're going to be adding it right here, and then for this particular we're going to be taking a different color, for example red, okay, and then edit, and then for this, for example, let's say blue, okay, and add it, and then we can also save this particular selection that we did and then run it. Can you see, guys? All of them are the sort of filter has been created. And now there are other types of sets as well. For example, we have our search set. So if we want to search a particular list of elements under one heading, what we can do here is we can simply go to find items here, and then under find items, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking this here, and then for example, if I want let's say I want fire protection pipe here, let's click select here and then pan, and then zoom in, and then what I can do here is I can select this pipe. So this pipe has a let's go to element here. So this pipe has a property, this element and a work set is B waste. So what I can do here is I can go to for this particular thing, I can go to category here, and then category is elements, E, the first option here, and the property is work set. So where is the work sets here? Sorry, come on. The work set condition is equal to, and then the value, I can simply go here and copy the value here and then paste it here, control V, and then find first and then find all, and all of these particular elements have been created into a particular set here. And then what we're going to be doing is we're going to be exporting them if we want, or if you want to create an appearance profiler for it, you can also go there and go by property and do all of them things here as well. For example, the category is, so this is case sensitive, so the category is element, element. The property is work set, it equals to P waste, right? So let us test the selection and then give a color, for example yellow, okay, and then add it here and then run it. Let's see, no, not yet. So there are some issues with that. So let's first of all save this particular set. The search set that we did is we're going to go to our sets, and then we're going to be creating a separate folder for this, new folder SEARCHSET search set, and then we're going to be saving. So guys, looks like we have to do it all over again. There is some problem here, no worries. So we can simply select on this, and then we go to find items, and then we have our P waste, and then we can go to find all here. So we go to sets, we click on this, and then plumbing waste point, waste is we can simply close it here, and then this P waste we can go and put it in search set. So this particular element is in the search set, and these are the selection sets. So what we can do is we can create all the different types of search sets and selection sets we want, and this is going to be helping us for clash detection also. For example, let's say that we have to run the clash between different two elements. For example, this is our storm drain pipe here. So what I can do is I can simply go to find items and simply click on copy value here and control V here, and then find all. So all of them are selected. Now I can go here and I can simply what is this, SD PLUMB SD pipes. So you can close this one here and then go to back to sets, and then drop them in search sets. So like this. Yeah, so it comes under search set category here. So now what I can do is I can run the clash between them as well if I want. For example, I add a new test. For example, here we have our SD versus, what was the category, uh, waste, right? SD versus waste here, and I can simply select the plumbing here and then go to this particular subsets. uh, I can go to this option here, sets, and then we have a search sets, we have a plumbing here, simply on this side sets, and then uh, we have a p waste, and then run the test. So there are 6 clashes between them, and then what we can do is we can simply save the viewpoints if we want, and then mark it up and send it to the clash coordinator so that the clash gets resolved. Now before doing that, we have some settings that we have to take a look at. So what we can do here is we can, if we want to edit the text, so basically while running the simulation there is some text here, we can change that date, time, we can change the format, we can change the, if we want to add the cost, if we want to add the extras, some colors we change for that particular date and time while running the simulation. That is we can change that easily by using this option. And then let us take a look at the simulate the animation button, how we can do the animation of this. So for example, let's go back to our general views here and we'll select home. So before doing that, we go to back to tasks, and then we go to animation tab here, and then we simply lower this down a little bit. So we simply click on record, and then whatever zoom, whatever way we move is going to get saved. For example, if you guys want to fly, it is going to do that, and then let us stop it, and this animation will be saved here. For example, we can select the animation here and then play it. So whatever movement I did with the mouse is going to get saved. But the problem with this is that it looks a little bit uneasy on the eyes because it's a little bit jerky, it doesn't flow smoothly. So now to solve this problem, what we can do is we can simply animate from here. So add animation. For example, I'll go back to the home view here, and then I'll go and right click and then go to this option called add animation. So animation is saved. Let's say 1 2 3 is the animation, and then what we can do is we go back to home, and then we'll zoom a little bit, and the first orientation that we want to save, we make the project in that orientation and then click the save viewpoint. The next orientation, let us say, should be like this, and then we go back and save this viewpoint. Let us say I want to zoom now, and now save viewpoint again, save viewpoint, go inside and tilt a little bit, make it, and save viewpoint, and then go a little bit towards there, tilt a little bit, and then save viewpoint again. Let's say I want to go inside this. I'll select the walk here, and then I'll go to pan. I simply I want to go forwards, and into these MEP equipments I'll go and click save viewpoint. And now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select this and I'm going to play it. So as you can see, it's a little bit smoother because there is no sort of jerkiness in the video, and it doesn't cut and sort of jerk into the next view frame. So little bit smoother. I'm forwarding this. So this way you can save an animation so that you can show it to your client. Now you guys might say that what is the use of this animation? So what we can do is we can simply go to on the timeline and go to settings, and we can link this this animation to the simulate option. For example, we go here and we click the saved viewpoint animation. So have we saved it? Yes. And then we simply play it. As you can see, now it can move the way we moved in that particular animation, and simultaneously show the progress of the work. Right, can you see guys? Now the columns are being built and the walls, and similarly so we can add this animation to our timeliner. Now guys, we can also export this by clicking this option. We'll select viewport, and then format, we'll select let's say Windows AVI, and then all the settings that we can do, FPS, etc., and select OK, and then save wherever we want. Let's say I select on desktop, and then you can view this animation that we did in your video in your video player, and show it to your client or anyone who has request for this presentation video.